Who lives at 244 Needy Road?
Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives.
The ATF.
The AFTDU.
Yeah, that's getting a little old, isn't it?
The AFTDU.
One more time for good measure. Anyway, the ATF has regulated some revolver parts as being on the NFA. So what we have here is the revolver seal. Let's find that dot. Ding! One more. Oh boy, that's cool. Now I think this thing's empty. Yeah, she's empty. Almost forgot how to count to 6 there. I didn't have my other toes hanging out. Well, I'd actually done a video on this some time ago, but I would like to bring some more awareness to this. YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, decided to demonetize a video that is literally me standing in a room talking about the ATF, like right now. This letter was sent to the owner and patent holder of the revolver seal. He had submitted a sample, and the ATF, this is their final ruling on this. As far as I'm concerned, this is a safety device and not silencer parts. Safety device because it keeps hot gases and trash from coming out of that revolver cylinder and hurting you.
I'll have my Smith & Wesson Model 686-6 with a 6-inch barrel, loaded with Winchester White Box 357 Magnum 110 grain semi-jacketed hollow point. Let's see what happens. Okay. That was a lot more damage. So I hardly agree with them that this is a silencer or silencer parts. So what we got here is the FTISB has determined the submitted revolver seal is a device for silencing, muffling, or diminishing the report of a portable firearm, including any combination of parts designed or redesigned or intended for use in assembling or fabricating a firearm silencer or muffler, and any intended part for use in such assembly or fabrication. Therefore, the submitted sample is a firearm silencer as defined in the GCA, as a firearm and defined in the NFA. So if we've ever made an argument that certain laws need to be sunset, this is it. So the GCA of 1968 and the NFA. So if they call a pair of machined aluminum earmuffs, that's what these things are. They're just little cups that go on the side of the revolver. If they're calling them a firearm, well, deer season's starting up soon. Literally, it's about to be rifle season. So if this is a firearm, I should be able to take those aluminum earmuffs and go out into the woods and claim the life of a deer with it, right? Should be able to take down a whitetail. So yeah, that is pretty daggum ignorant. So they have some evaluation here. The ATF has a long history of looking at the design features of a particular item when determining whether an item is a firearm silencer under federal law, including whether it has design features of a part designed to be used in a firearm silencer. So, as a background, there are generally 3 audible elements attributable to a firearm in operation: the report of the gases expelling from the muzzle blast, the sound of the bullet in flight, sonic crack, and the sound of the firearm action. Firearm silencers are designed to reduce only one of these elements, the report of the gases expelling from the muzzle. However, a revolver traditionally has an additional audible element, the gases expelling from the barrel cylinder gap, BC gap. The report of a firearm is mostly the consequence of superheated high-pressure propellant gases being rapidly released into the atmosphere, also known as uncorking. The slowing, cooling, or redirection of gases when using a silencer creates an audible reduction in sound when the gases exit or uncork. So, they're going on and they're talking about the expansion chamber. So what they're ultimately going to do in this is they're going to argue that the revolver seal is an expansion chamber. So, baffles or monolithic baffle core in firearm silencers are designed to slow, create turbulence in, or redirect the flow of hot propellant gases, depending on the baffle's particular design features. Further, baffles can be used to segregate a long expansion chamber to create multiple smaller expansion chambers of various sizes by stacking several baffles together or by the use of spacers between baffles. The submitted revolver seal, when attached, allows traditionally designed silencers to work and function as designed when attached to the muzzle of the revolver. So now in this letter, they've used the words of his patent against him. So the purpose of this invention is to contain the gases that escape between the barrel and cylinder when a revolver is fired. while it is referred to in the patent as a containment facility, it is and operates as an expansion chamber. So basically, they're just taking words, twisting words until it fits. It is a device designed and intended to contain the gases escaping from the BC gap, in turn slowing, cooling, and redirecting those gases down the barrel. So yeah, they're completely making this fit this definition of silencer. As far as I'm concerned, the NFA is just outdated. It was written so long ago. The $200 stamp, which actually is neat, the ATF screwed up and said the silent part out loud. The $200 tax stamp was never raised for inflation. Back then, it was ridiculously expensive. That $200 would have kept it out of reach for most people. So, as it's came forward in the future, especially with the latest inflation, that $200 really isn't a lot of money. It's more money than it should be. You know, as far as I'm concerned, a tax stamp and all that crap is unconstitutional. It's more money than it should be to get it in your hands. I know that the silencer industry would probably just rip loose if it wasn't for that $200 tax stamp and wait. So I'm sure that the government at this point is still enjoying that fact of the wait and all of that stuff, keeping the silencer industry from actually moving forward. I think it would be a great thing to see the NFA go away. Right here, we've got test 1 results. So during their testing, what they wound up doing, they listed that they used CCI brand standard velocity 22 long rifle caliber ammunition, which I found when I was working with it that the standard velocity was okay-ish. It seemed like the CCI quiets were just a little bit better working with it. You know, it's just because those revolver frames, you can't completely seal them off. You know, they've got little holes and places and crevices, like where the hammer goes into the frame and stuff like that, that the actual gases will come out of. So it's not 100% sealed off. But test 1 results. Heritage revolver, nothing attached. 5-shot average, 155.35 decibels. Heritage revolver with revolver seal attached, 144.65 decibels. The average sound reduction recorded was 10.70 decibels. This test result demonstrates the submitted sample does function as a device for silencing, muffling, or diminishing the report of a portable firearm. Test 2 results. The second test included the submitted device along with the silencer that they used. So Heritage revolver with revolver seal attached, 5-shot average, 144.03. Heritage revolver with revolver seal and the silencer attached. So this is actually threading a suppressor onto the end of it. 130.88, which is very respectable. You know, that's nice and quiet. The average sound reduction recorded was 13.15 decibels. This test results demonstrates the submitted device does function as a combination of parts, designed or redesigned, blah, 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 is actually reduced 24.47 decibels. So that was from 155.35 to 130.88. So then they did a test 3 results. Basically, it was just the Heritage revolver with nothing attached, so no revolver seal, and then the silencer attached. So basically what you wound up with was putting the suppressor on the end of that Heritage, the BC, the cylinder gap, is basically just causing all of that thing to bark. There is no difference whether you have a suppressor on there or not. So here what they've got is their conclusion. During the evaluation of the submitted revolver seal, FTISB has determined the submitted sample is a device designed and intended for silencing, muffling, blah, blah, blah. So therefore, the submitted revolver seal is a firearm silencer as defined by the GCA, and furthermore, it is also a firearm as defined in the NFA. So what they're going on is they said that it is violation of the NFA to be in possession of a firearm that is not registered to the possessor. Similarly, the transport, delivery, or receiving of an improperly or unregistered NFA firearm is unlawful and would be in violation of blah, blah, blah. So since it's unlawful to possess, transport, deliver, or receive an unregistered NFA firearm, they're going to keep his revolver seal. But however, the submitted Heritage model Rough Rider will be returned under separate cover. So yeah, they went ahead and gave him back his pistol, but they kept his aluminum earmuffs, a safety device. So what Bryce is wanting to do, Bryce is the patent holder for the revolver seal. He's wanting to try to find some type of lawyer that can try to make his argument. So about a year ago, YouTube was handing out video strikes left and right. So January of 2023, it was really, really bad. A lot of gun channels were about to go away. And I had this revolver seal in hand and was going to make the video until YouTube started doing the thing where you couldn't thread on suppressors and you couldn't put this on and you couldn't put that on. And that whole video was literally me threading and unthreading suppressors and reinstalling and uninstalling the revolver seal. And so I had to back up and try to figure out how to make this video without making the YouTube overlords put me in the freaking jail again. You know, I spent the whole month of January not uploading because I was suspended. You know, they gave me a week and then they gave me 2 weeks and then they gave me, and so anyway, each community guideline strike, they kept burying me. So when I came out of that, I'm like, how do I make this video? You know, I've got to show a comparison of this, and I can't risk the future YouTube getting, you know, something in their drawers again. So I simply just could not make the video, and that sucked. And I guess it is a good thing that I couldn't make the video. We talk about CRS, firearms, Matt Hoover. They simply changed the definition and called a little metal card a machine gun, and they put him in the pokey for a while. So I'm kind of glad that I wasn't able to make that video because, you know, what if I had been out there promoting the revolver seal and YouTube, or not YouTube, the ATF decided to turn my family upside down? You know, there'd be some kind of mouth-breathing overachiever in 244 Needy Road there that would just want to put me in prison just to get a leg up. I mean, these people really do not care about you. A silencer itself is a safety device. You know, in my adult life, I've spent over 10 grand on hearing aids, not for me, but for someone else. So gladly, I will spend 10 grand on silencers. That way I can hear when I get older. You know, if I live long enough on this earth, I'd like to hear my grandchildren's voices. So yeah, I definitely do like to shoot suppressed. I like to hunt suppressed. It's just, there's several benefits as to using a silencer. If you haven't experienced one, I'd suggest going to a range day and getting out there and actually enjoying it. Once you shoot, let's say you have a properly set up firearm. Let's say it's a lever action or a bolt action and you're shooting subsonic ammunition and you're sitting there talking to your friends and suddenly there is just you don't have that stress of the earmuff on your ear. Once you realize that you don't have to have that clamp down on your head or something shoved in your ears, you're like, wow, this is really nice. Now, some firearms are pretty loud. You'll only want to do those in like a hunting scenario, maybe 1 or 3 rounds in a day. You know, they're so loud that you really won't want to sit out there and go bang, bang, bang all day because it still can get at you and hearing loss is cumulative. So, like I said, if you haven't tried it before, jump up there. If you have tried it before, get down in the comment section and tell everybody how awesome it is. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. We'll catch you up in your next video. I love you, and I don't love this.